What happened?
Woohoo! And we're live.
Are we doing this? We're doing this. We're actually here, AJ Guzza.
We are doing this. And of course, I don't see us live yet, but it says that we're live. So just in case we're live, you know what? Again, on the bleeding edge of technology. I love it. And welcome, everybody. Here we are. I do see us live now. So yay. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today.
I'm glad you see us live and I don't, but there you go.
Oh, you will. You'll see. Just refresh your browser. So, all right, guys. So we arrived a little fashionably late, and I'm so happy to be here this morning talking with the amazing, our February guest director, Dave Walsh, this morning. Woo! Thanks so much. Woohoo! Thanks so much for joining us, Dave. You know,
you're welcome.
This is our first face-to-face meeting.
Yes, it is. It is totally.
And we've I've been in the I don't believe I've been in the industry as long as you, but I've been in the industry pretty long, and this is the first time that we're meeting, which I love, and we'll actually first time meet face to face, like in person at at our VO Peeps meetup in February on the 18th. So I'm super excited, and
so am I.
So prior to this, Peeps, I've been talking to Dave to, make arrangements for, our great workout that's coming, where he's going to talk a bit about his TrueTell method. And we've been arranging this, talking on the phone, and I can't tell you how much fun it's been getting to know you. And I don't know why 10 years ago I didn't say, oh my gosh, come do a workout with me. So I'm super excited to introduce. I'm super excited to introduce you to the group, and I want to just ask you a couple of questions so they can get to know you like I did. And I'm telling you, folks, I'm just blown away by this guy. So let's start kind of at the beginning, Dave. If you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in voiceover.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And something, we meet when we meet, and this is this is the perfect time for both of us. The way I got into voiceover, I've been voiceover now for about 25 years, and it started out just like everybody else, getting my first agents, et cetera, and really have been represented by some amazing people along the way, and have had incredible coaches. About 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, about 10 years ago, I started coaching, and really have had the pleasure, just kind of take a step back again, to have the pleasure to work in every area of voiceover, including promo and commercial and narration and affiliates and animation and video games, which has been, so I've been able to really have a breadth of experience in the business, and it's been incredible. But when I started to incorporate coaching into my daily life, I wanted to bring something different to the table. Well, fate kind of created the difference in how I coach and where the TrueTell actually came from. I was doing a promo for a network about 10 years ago, and my voice started to drop out. I started to aspirate on words that began with a vowel. And so the director would say to me, Dave, can we go back and pick up that word? You just had a little hiccup. So we go pick up the word. Well, what proceeded to happen was it started to happen with random words and sentences that began with consonants and not just vowels. And it would happen in sentences and paragraphs and in pages. And what eventually happened was I created a phobia to the booth, which I cannot even believe I'm saying.
Really? Wow.
Totally. I didn't even want to go into it. I swear to you, I had a whisper room in my house, and I would literally sit outside of it and find every reason not to record auditions. And I would go to sessions, and I'd still be booking while this was happening. Well, cut to going to ear, nose, and throat doctors. They finally determined that I had reflux, and that was causing the problem in my voice. Typical solution for that is, take a pill, you're fine. Never happened. So finally, doctors at Cedars said, let's have stomach surgery and correct the reflux. Corrected the reflux, voice didn't change. So I go to UCLA for a diagnosis. They tell me, stand by, I have an incurable neurological disorder called an incurable neurological disorder called spasmodic dysphonia.
Oh gosh, and handed me. I can't believe that's something that you ever want to hear.
Well, wait a minute, but you're kind of sitting there, and they handed me a brochure and said, there is a support group in the country. It meets once a week in Fresno. In Fresno.
Wow.
So I walk away from this going, I have no career. My career is over. And I finally hooked up with a speech pathologist in West LA, Mort Cooper, who's now retired. And Mort said to me, he's this old curmudgeon who just said to me, they told you had reflux. I said, yeah. He's like Jackie Mason. They told you they had reflux. I said, yeah. They told you had a neurological brain disorder. I said, yeah. He goes, yeah, you're speaking in the wrong part of your voice.
Oh.
It's that simple.
Okay.
And I stepped back and went, wait a minute, I just was told I have something incurable, and you're telling me that I'm speaking in the wrong part of my voice? Come to find out, over a course of 4 years from there forward, I was in speech therapy with him privately, and then started working with groups of people. There are people all over the world who came to this man because the only cure for this disorder was injecting Botox in your vocal cords to literally freeze the vocal cords. And Mort's therapy was teaching you how to speak in the mask of your face, which is where all good and great voices come from. But I literally had to relearn how to speak correctly. And I had spent so many years speaking with what I call what we call an inauthentic voice, because it's the voice that I thought that producers, casting people, agents wanted.
What
and
type
it
of
worked.
What type of work was primary for you back then? Were you doing a lot of commercials, promo? Okay.
Promo, trailer, narration, and promo, trailer, narration, and commercials.
So you would have that kind of heavy, booming voice that everybody expected? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was pretty heavy in the sense that I would come out of booths. This is something you and I didn't talk about. I would come out of the booth bathed in sweat from head to toe. And I thought it was because I was just overheating from excitement. It was my body trying to sustain some kind of sound to be able to speak, because I was speaking all from my lower throat, because I thought if I sounded cool, hip, butch, to use a word, and compete with my other, my fellow actors like Jim Tasker and Scott Rummel and Ben Patrick Johnson and Ashton Smith. I mean, these guys, and Reno Romano, these guys, working all the time. And so my competition was working that way. And I felt that that's what I needed to do. This is in no way, shape, or form pointing to any coach, anyone that I've worked with, to say that they caused it. It was more what I thought was the way I was supposed to speak. And no one in the business, no one had told me what I was doing wrong.
Right. And I think we all, as voice actors, we start off and we have this voice in our heads, or we have this idea of what we're supposed to sound like. And in reality, then that probably, from what you're saying, doesn't come from an authentic place. Right?
No,
because you and I talking right now, this is an authentic, we're having a conversation. It's our authentic, our authentic place. So yeah, I can totally relate to that. As when I started off, I had this sound in my head and it was like, no, but my voice sounds prettier this way. And, this is what's going to book me the work. And I always went there. And it wasn't until, I was wondering, well, why am I not booking? I mean, really, and I think it's all about becoming that authentic voice. And so you are going to talk to us, and that's what our whole February 18th workshop is all about, right? And tell us a little bit about your TrueTell method, which came about because of this.
Yeah, it did. And I think that, I tried to figure out at the time, what was the thing that was going to differentiate what I do from other people? And it's not that it's better, it's different.
Right.
And what we talk about in the workshop is about whether you're working in commercial, and we're going to focus on commercial in the group on February 18th, but whether it's commercial or promo or narration or trailer, affiliate, radio imaging, even animation, video games, if you're speaking, and those are characters, if you're speaking from your authentic voice, it's how it feels. What we're going to talk about in the group is, how does it feel to tell a story that's true? That I know, we all know, guys out there, is that when you step out of the booth and you've told a story, you've killed it, you've nailed it.
I think you know it.
Visceral, you nail it.
Yep, and you know it. Absolutely.
You know it. And it's more of like, well, how do I know it? Do I have to hear it back? No.
Right,
because the truth is, we do hear it back to edit and to send it in, but it really is none of our business how we sound. It's none of our business.
Right. I love that.
It's our business how we feel about it. It's so in other words, I say to clients all the time, they'll read a script and they'll say, how did it sound? I'll say, I don't know. How did it feel? And they'll say, well, how did it sound? I said, that's my job. Your job is to tell the story authentically, passionately, and connectedly. Because in the end, What they want is you, me. They want our point of view. And the only way you achieve that point of view is finding an authentic story.
And I think that's so hard for us as voice actors. It's so hard for like even my students. It's like, no, bring you to the party. It's all about really what you can give, and it really has nothing to do with your voice.
Yeah, and I said, no, exactly. And I've said to actors, and I've even said to a couple of agents, or when people direct you and say, just talk to me. I keep saying you can't. That's the easiest thing and the most difficult thing. Thank you, David Gilbert. Interesting perspective. Yes. I appreciate that. And thank you, Faith Cruz. Can't wait to meet you myself. It's not the director's responsibility to get you to speak authentically. We have to come in with that story. Doesn't matter who the director is. It's their responsibility to guide us in the story, but it's not their responsibility to reach across the glass or over the ISDN or the DTL line and pull the read out of us. We have to come in with the story. Case in point, I use this reference all the time and try and make it as simple as possible. Your husband, who I hear is an amazing chef, you told me
he is.
To taste his food. So think about this. You guys are having a dinner party at your house, okay? You got 6 to 8 people at the table. You would never turn to the person next to you and have a conversation with them if you didn't know what you were talking about, who you were talking to, and why you were telling them that story. Why would you do that in the booth? Why would you simply glaze over something and tell a story where you have no idea where you're going with it?
Absolutely.
And so what we talk about in the workshop is the connection to make sure that when you step out of the booth, that you've told the story you absolutely wanted to tell. Because so much of the work now is self-direction. That's, you're not getting that advantage of directions all of the time. That's kind of, you want to be able to get out of the booth and be independent in the booth. It's really important. Mark Eldridge just asked, what if you were born with an authentic voice that is announcers? Very good question. There is a way to, if I may answer the question.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes.
The thing about that too, Mark, is that you're born with an announcer's voice. Someone has told you it sounds like an announcer's voice, and it has the qualities. This is where I call it the gift. It has a gift in the vocal DNA of that voice to lend itself to promos, to trailers, to narration. The truth is, the authenticity of your voice, Mark, when you walk around every day, you're using a voice with your spouses, your friends, acquaintances, family. That's your voice. It's your authentic opinion of the world. It's when you step into the booth that the framework of a promo, a framework of a commercial, you know what those sound like. And now you're trying to change the voice to fit into a frame versus just telling the story of the promo, telling the story of the commercial. Your voice is going to follow right behind it if you're telling a story that's true. It doesn't matter if you think it's an announcer's voice. That will lend itself to you working more in promo or trailer or narration. Depends upon what the texture, what the DNA of your voice is. Does that make that a little bit easier? Sure, but you sure as heck better be able to tell the story that goes along with that voice. Yeah. That's the key.
So stop worrying about trying to change your DNA of your voice, because that's kind of physically impossible.
It's not physically impossible. You can augment it. You can augment it,
yes, exactly. But coming from a true authentic place, why would you want to? Because that's really that's really what everybody is. That's really what everybody's connecting to.
Yeah, and that's what your agents or producers or casting people or whatever. That's what they're buying. We're giving them, you being the social media maven. From what I'm talking about that you've got to be able to market that brand in a way that makes you different and unique from 500 other voices. Don't give an agent, don't give a casting person or a producer sameness.
Right.
Because they got it.
It really is. It relates so perfectly. Like your authentic voice relates completely in parallel to your authentic brand and your unique brand. And it's so easy because we're not selling necessarily a physical product. We're selling ourselves and our services, and it's our person. And because we are just all so unique, look how easy that is in reality. Why do we bang our heads, against a brick wall trying to come up with like that perfect, that perfect logo or that perfect persona of a voice talent? When in reality, people want to connect to us, not our voices. They want to connect to us and our entire package. And I say that to my branding students too. It's not just about, what should your tagline be with voiceovers? It's not about voiceovers. It's about you. It's the whole package that people are purchasing.
Yeah, because the tagline, you'll come up with the tagline once we know what the point of view of that TrueTell is.
Exactly. And when people are purchasing your services, they're purchasing, you're a package, and it's everything that goes with it. Your voice, your passion, your empathy, your, whatever it is, your customer service, that's all part of your business that they're purchasing. And so that becomes part of your brand. And so I love how I love how our workout just ties right into everything so beautifully. I mean, it really is, I think, the very core of how we need to perform as artists.
I agree. And I think that, you, first of all, the opportunity to come and work with your peeps will be really amazing, because the thing that I've noticed, nothing makes me happier than watching somebody, and I know as a coach, you know this too, is turning that corner, that light bulb moment, that turn where they realize it doesn't need to be so dang hard.
Right.
It's you're telling a story. This isn't about, you're not being put in front of a firing squad.
Yeah, I have goosebumps. I just love everything you're saying, and I think, and I'm a firm believer. I believe that I'm a true educator in the sense where, however you get the information, however that light bulb turns on for you, I am so happy for you. Like, this is why I brought VO Peeps to light. This is why VO Peeps has guest directors every month, because I want to expose, our members and the students to all different types of learning, all different types of people, because that light bulb moment will come at a different time. And it may be with Dave Walsh. It may be with Ann Ganguza. It would be great. And so I'm so I just like to share, wonderful resources like yourself with all of the members, because, if it doesn't happen, this time, it'll happen next time. And it's always a beautiful thing when it does happen. So I'm truly excited to be bringing this to the peeps and my monthly workouts, and I'm so excited finally to get you.
we only tried for so long to do it, and I said, guys, just so you know about Ann, I said to Ann at one point, I said to you, and I had known about you for so long. I'm like, why the heck am I not? Why haven't we met Ann Ganguza? Why the hell have we not talked to each other yet? So I'm so glad we're doing that now, which is fantastic. And
interestingly enough, you probably knew me from my online presence. I'm assuming.
That's exactly how I met that. Directly, I met you.
And I try to be authentic in my online presence, which again, everything just comes full circle, right? I mean, if you're not authentic in your online presence, you may not have wanted to meet me. We're like, oh no. But
let me tell you something. But speaking to that, if I may interrupt, the thing that I notice about you is everything that you promote in your online presence is exactly who you are as a person.
Yes,
there is nothing in the translation of you to that brand that is not what you're selling. You are the real deal. You are that person.
Thank you. And that's very, I appreciate that you said that. It is all about authenticity. It's authenticity in your voice, in your business, in your brand, and
right.
And that's it. So, I'm sorry.
So what I was going to say was just to kind of address this to the peeps that are listening and to your gang, that if you choose to come and hang with us, we'd love to have you come hang with us on the 18th of February. Bring whatever Achilles heels, meaning you're just like the thing that's in your shoe that is just bothering the crap out of you in your work. Bring those things. Don't come to impress Ann, impress me. This is coming to completely up your game. And the thing about this work is, I always say, it's throwing who you are on the table and figuring out who that person is and how that person tells the story truthfully from here forward. That's the reason you're coming. You're coming to completely put yourself, literally throw yourself on the table and say, who am I and what, and just really, really honing that point of view. That's why we're doing it. So would love to have you join us.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you, actually, Dave is the first workout that I've done where I've really offered a full out audit access. So if you want to just come and hang out, although I can't stress enough how wonderful it is to do the live participating, workout with Dave. But I've got the two options. We do have a maximum of 15 students doing the live participation with Dave. So you want to sign up. It's going to be on February 18th from 10 a.m. that specific time till 2 p.m. or a lot of times we run over because we are just passionate people, and I'm not saying that you're going to run over.
We'll talk. But anyway.
Dave and I might be talking for the first 2 hours just to each other, and then you guys will work out after that. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's like David. I'll be like, okay. So you guys sign up, and for those of you that I can't share my screen with this, but you guys know how to get to vopeeps.com. It's on the front page. Just click there to sign up. Registration is $159 for live participation and or remote. You can participate. Guys, we're a global group, and I'm truly proud to be able to offer a hybrid class, meaning you can come live if you live in the Southern California area, or you can join via Zoom, which I love because that just offers the class to anybody in the world. And I truly believe that I've got it nailed down so that it's really an interactive class. I know most people that have taken a class with us before in the workouts really truly get the interaction, and they really feel like they're part of the group, even if you're zooming in from another part of the country. So, don't be shy, try it out. It's, we give you a Zoom link, and, I invite you to come to these workouts. I really don't, I can't say how much I love to do them and how much I think education and how much you'll get out of it if you can join us on February 18th. And so I want to tell people that I see comments starting to come in. So if you've got questions for Dave before we sign off, I'd like you to just post them, and I'll try to get to them and post them up.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that one of the ones I'm looking at here is from Jackie Bales, who says, to be honest, when I hear myself in a video, for instance, talking to my dog, I find that I don't like the authentic sound. I can't help augmenting when I'm in the booth. You fell right into the category, Jackie. I totally understand where you're coming from. It's the thing that what you don't want to accept is what we call your vocal identity. You don't accept the fact that this is who you are as a person. Now, not in vocally, I'm not talking about as a person, that the way your voice sounds. I've said to people, and they come in and I'll say, do you like your voice? That's the first question I'll ask them. Yeah. Some people will say, I love it. Some people say, no. Yeah. Voice actors who come in and say, I don't like my own voice. That's where we start from. This is, and Jackie, I appreciate you being completely upfront and honest about it.
Yep.
That you are not alone. There are plenty of people that feel that way. This is about coming to the place of understanding your own TrueTell and how telling a story from that God-given place will shift based on the person you're talking to and the reasons why. So it's understanding that your voice is going to change based on a story and how you feel about that story. So it's kind of understanding that first. There is some work involved, obviously, if it's a voice you don't like, but the truth is it's starting from that grassroots place of accepting and understanding how awesome that authentic voice really is.
Yeah. And it's, oh gosh, that's just, yeah, no, that's beautiful. And I know that you said, come work out, just let's put our stuff on the table. And I'm just going to tell you that, I had my own little revelation, and I think we all go through periods of time in our lives where, things hit us and we're like, oh my gosh, the light bulb moment. And, I had a health scare, a few years back, and I'm sure all of you know, a lot of you know about it. And it was a terrifying scare. And at that point I said to myself, why am I worrying so much about how I sound in the booth? Like, that's so insignificant compared to the fact that I could be dead. And it was one of those moments where I was like, oh my gosh. And that's what started to loosen me up. I feel like I wasn't, I was so tight when I would go in because I had that perceived notion of what it was that I was supposed to sound like. And I'm like, oh my gosh, just life is short. You know what I mean? Just give of yourself.
Totally.
I had so many people that showed me, you know, during that crisis in my life, how loved I was. And I know this is, I'm not trying to be like to psychoanalyze this, but
no, I know what you're saying.
It has a lot to do with, you know, loving your voice and loving yourself and being okay with that authentic self, and not necessarily, you know, being somebody's expectation. So I will, that's me laying it on the table right now and on Facebook Live for all of you that, yeah, I had a crisis, and that was one of the things that helped to jostle me, you know, loose and get me to be like, really, come on, Ann, you know, be that authentic person. And it really helped me in all areas of my life. So I think that the TrueTell method is something that can just, you know, it can just benefit us just as growing people.
Yeah, so. I agree. And I think that from your, you know, your mouth to God's ears. And I think that one of the things that happened to me too was I didn't choose to really want to talk about this for the longest time because I felt like if I told people I wouldn't get hired, I wouldn't do anything. And the doctor at the time, Mort Cooper, said to me, they're not going to know what you're doing. They're going to love it, Walsh, I'm telling you. And the truth was, this is exactly how we talked. And I had a really wonderful friend, a manager, and who was a very good friend of mine, Celia Siegel, who a lot of us know very well. And Celia, I told Celia the story, and Celia said to me, as did Stacey Aswad, we talked about this quite a bit, and Celia said to me, Dave, that is your gift. That is the thing that you bring to the table. And it really was a wake-up moment for me where my partner, Ken, had said to me for so long, this is the thing that makes you different. This is the thing that you can contribute, just like you contributed in terms of how you coach and how you perform. Going through the life experiences where it shifts the focus from how can I be like everyone else as to being authentic and individual. It's a massive shift.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'm so proud of you for talking about that because
thank you.
But it's what makes you, it made you make the shift. It made me,
it made me who I am, you know, and it's just, it's all really very much a blessing. You know, it's all very much my growth as an actor, as a voice actor, and it's all good. And so anything that, you know, any experience that I think that we can have as VO Peeps and members of this group, you know, let's do it together. I'm super excited. I love this community. I think voiceover is just, everybody says it, right? But voiceover is just such a wonderful community. And I love that we have our global group together. And so we really, because we do work on our own, obviously we really help to support each other, you know, through global distances. And this is just one way. So you guys, we've got the link in the comments if you want to sign up. You know, don't miss it. I'll tell you, I'm excited.
I am too.
And I'm so thankful that you came on, that you were willing to be interviewed today. And I know that you're going on a vacation, so right before you're gonna be all rested. You're gonna be all perfectly rested before you come. But yeah, so if you're what's your recording rig look like on the road? Just out of curiosity, as you go on vacation.
You know what I'm not doing? What I'm doing is I'm not taking it with.
Oh, look at that!
I'm going on a cruise.
Oh, nice.
I'm going on a cruise. Okay. Okay. I'm kind of staying home. I'm keeping everything at home, and you know, and quite frankly, it's the way that we grew up in this business was we never used to. I mean, back in the old days, in the days of yore,
I walked 10 miles.
Exactly. Do you know what I used to do?
In the snow. Sorry.
And the truth is that we used to, you know, when I'd go on vacation in Hawaii, we'd look for studios with ISDN. Like you couldn't bring a rig 10 years ago. You couldn't bring, and one of the pioneers of this, Steve Kamer and Joseph Briano. I mean, SIP has been doing this for so many years. SIP and Bo Weaver and these guys were teaching the whole method of, you know, the bedspread over the head and doing all these things that years ago only a few people did. That's the world we lived in. And what we used to think was every time we go on vacation, the second the wheels left the ground, we were losing money. That's how my mind used to think about it. But now actually having the ability to bring the rigs wherever we are this is the other thing. The story on the page, the story of the script that's sitting in front of you, this script has no idea where it is. It doesn't know it's in the car. It doesn't know that it's on a plane. It doesn't know that it's at a resort, in your bedroom, in a studio. All it knows is it needs to be told. Tell it.
Yeah.
Stop worrying about the fact that I'm in the back of a car, my mic doesn't work, my studio is not big enough, I'm here, I'm there. Tell the story. And that's all I have to say. That's it.
And what a wonderful segue into thanking you. I love it. Tell the story. Like, guys, tell the story. Let's, what can I say? I'm so excited for February 18th. And there you go.
What I'm laughing at is that people might be like, what an angry man he is.
He's so angry. So, well, look, I'm going to tell you to have a wonderful, I think you're going on vacation soon. So have a wonderful vacation. Oh, wow. So that's fantastic. Have a great vacation. He's going to be all rested, peeps. So get ready.
We are. And I just want to thank you, Jason, for your comment. Diana, did you notice that Diana Conley actually says she's egotistical and loves her voice?
I love her.
I'm in. Absolutely. And Jackie Bales just booked. Awesome. Can't wait to see you as well. And this is great. I love hearing from you guys like this. This is very cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. Dave, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Anne. Thank you so much.
I cannot wait. February 18th, guys, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific time. You can join live. You can join remote. You can audit live. You can audit remote. We've got all the options for you. Thank you. Mwah. I love my VO peeps. Thank you, Dave. I love you, too.
I love you, too, man.
Well, thank you. You didn't have to say that back just because I said it to you. I know.
But I feel it. I mean, Anne, how many hours have we spent already and we haven't even met yet?
We're so authentic. I love you, Dave. I do. Okay, so it's true. But thanks so much again. And guys,
you're welcome.
I will see you soon. Anybody that's got any questions, feel free to contact me, Ann at VOPeeps.com. Sign up at VOPeeps.com. Thanks again. And we will talk to you guys later. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Ann.